morning. It's June 21st, 2012. This is David Plaza's Community Conversation Editor of the News Press, and we are joined with our Executive Editor, Terry Aberle, and also our Conversation Link, Martha Hill, and we have the privilege of having County Commissioner Brian Bigelow, who is running for Lee County Clerk of Court, and we welcome you to be here. And tell us, Commissioner, why are you running for this office?
David, that's a good question. And first, let me say I want to thank the News Press, the editorial board, and citizen members especially. This is my 5th time here in front of the editorial board. I appreciate this opportunity as much as before prior. Well, my reason for leaving the commission is a good question because as a commissioner, there's basically 2 primary duties. One is as a policymaker, decider, factoring 20% of the total board's vote. But also, and it's not generally known, that we have to oversee the 2,500 plus county employees that serve under the direction of the county manager, who is accountable to the board. And so we have to oversee the performance of those staff members, as well as a approximately $2 billion a year budget. Now, I'm going to be leaving a policy board seat, and I'm going to answer your question this way, to assume an oversight seat with also primary policy-making decision authority within the office, but only within the office itself. So I believe that my experience and knowledge of county government and my experiences overseeing that county government will help make me an effective clerk of courts, because I will be able to then hopefully present for the policymakers information that we may not get prior to our decisions currently. I think there's too many times where I've seen we are learning too much after the decisions, where we should be maybe slowing it down a little and getting more facts, and the clerk can, of course, help in that way. So I'd like to talk a little bit about oversight, if I could. I have, something here I'd like to, I guess, read to you, but I think it's important because it will give better explanation to where I've been, what I'm doing, and hope to become. The county clerks in the state of Florida are elected constitutional leaders for a reason, I believe. And when you consider all the responsibilities the clerks have in this state, it's the duty to perform oversight that is most vital. Because not only does the clerk oversee the office's performance, but the clerk, in fact, with the help of the staff under the clerk, also oversees county government performance. The clerk has, by state law, the authority of independent auditor. This power requires a strong leader, not someone expert in every aspect of the office itself necessarily. There's approximately 1,000 functions and duties that the clerks throughout the state have to perform daily, often, and of course execute well, effectively, and efficiently. So having someone strong enough and willing to look critically, but I want to underscore this, constructively over the shoulder of the clerk's employees as well as the county government, I think, is vital to the success of the clerk's office. And someone that will insist that our citizens are respected and being treated courteously, someone willing to bend over backwards to accommodate our citizens' right to information, someone willing to fight hard for financial accountability. I'm talking about a leader willing and able to ask the hard questions of his employees as well as the county government at large, demanding from everyone that we get the facts and not the spin. As too many times I've seen, we get spin, and that's for self-preservation reasons, I think. Sometimes employees will want to spin to the benefit of themselves so that they don't have to be held to account for certain actions or recommendations that they put forward. These are the first necessary steps I think the clerk must be willing and able to take on a daily basis in order to serve his important oversight duties. We all would agree that the audits performed are only as helpful to the clerk and ultimately the county's governing officials as the information that is used to perform those audits. So championing a commitment to transparency and public input, I want to underscore that again, public input is key to holding the powerful accountable. Transparency is the most important attribute of any watchdog, especially the next Lee County clerk. And my opponent, while she is a competent and very efficient clerk employee, as are all the current clerk employees, she actually was hired by not Clerk Green, but Clerk Sal Gerarsi. For those of us who haven't been here long enough, he was Charlie Green's predecessor. So my opponent has served actually in office longer than Clerk Green. So I'm looking forward to her maybe serving under a third clerk, myself, of course. She, along with the clerk's employees, are necessary for the success of the office record keeping, bookkeeping, investing, and distributing our county money. Additionally, working cooperatively with the court system is also very important. So if elected, I intend to maintain the office strengths while at the same time constantly, daily seeking out areas for improvement. Some known to me today, I believe, and some others yet to be known. For anything could be improved, as nothing in this world is perfect.
So, tell us a little bit about, because certainly your opponent has worked in the system for all this time, and you've mentioned that. What specifically qualifies you to hold this office?
Well, I'm trying to underscore oversight here, and I think if you know me as a commissioner, I'm kind of like a member of the press. I'm a watchdog. People bring to me things or reasons to look down into the 2,500 member bureaucracy, and I take that oversight duty quite seriously and have I think effectively drilled down on issues. Now, sometimes I've been thwarted. I've asked for information, not been given it. I've asked questions and they've not been answered. So I sometimes have to fulfill my oversight obligations by going around those, and so I'm experienced in this way. And it's that talent, I believe, along with the knowledge that I've gained in 5.5 years, and I'll have 6 in total by the time I'm done as a commissioner, that make me qualified. Now, as I said, there's about 1,000 duties and functions. That's not just my assessment of it. That's a state legislative joint commission analysis of what clerks throughout this state must do. If I'm to know all 926, which is the number they gave, I'd have to be a supercomputer. I could not be a human being in this office. But that's why we have directors such as Mrs. Doggett to oversee those functions and duties. And I oversee the total performance of the office. And I believe that's where my qualifications is. My strongest qualifications lie. I'd also like to point out that I do have a 4-year college degree from an accredited 4-year university, the University of Florida. You might want to make that contrast and look and see if Mrs. Doggett has that as well. She claims to be qualified and certified, and I'm not questioning that whatsoever. But I believe my qualifications qualify me in a stronger way. So as I was saying, if elected, I will encourage the public to participate in the review and the oversight of the clerk's office as well as county government. So anyone is truly committed to openness and transparency and a higher degree of ethical standards as I have been will naturally want as many citizens to be engaged that wish to be engaged. These, of course, are necessary ingredients of any recipe for a successful clerk who wants the office to participate constructively in the ongoing process of improving our county government. I think oftentimes those of us in office, the longer we are, we tend to think it's not ours at large, countywide, it's ours within the confines or insulated walls of county government. I try to encourage outside eyes, various diversity of opinions and views coming from a diversity of people, the people who have to live with the consequences of our county's decisions. I'd like to engage them into the clerk's oversight of the office as well as the county government. So after all, the clerk is our constitutional leader that must, by state law, let the facts be known and speak for themselves.